Satoshi and I had what? All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Had he really been in the same situation as I was now? The friends he had gone along with had changed suddenly, and for no reason, at least none that I could notice. Planned to kill him? Then, fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself, and carried it around every day to practice his swing. Yeah, I think you should have put that sentence into quotations, because you guys aren't practicing your swing. And then one day, suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation to course through my veins. Starting near my heart, it radiated outwards from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he transferred to? Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? Look, Mayabara, he's dead. Would he be able to tell me why it all ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Before I knew it, I was at my front door. That's good. The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was nobody home? It wasn't that odd of an occurrence. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a single key attached to my fur sealed keychain. Good God, just say your keychain, Jesus. Or I just pulled out my key. I stepped into the entryway. Just as I was about to take off my shoes, a chill ran down my spine. Someone had entered right behind me. That's fucked up. Stop it. Ooh, this is getting a little creepier. Oh God, kill them. Whoever they are, they deserve to die. Like a classmate messing around, standing right up against my back. You're kidding, right? It had been my imagination. It had to be. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey now, Keiichi. How do you know they're there, even though they are behind you? God, there's too many theirs. How do you know they are there, even though they are behind you? God. Stop. Why didn't you just throw in there too? T-H-E-I-R. Or is it I-E-R? Fuck English. Fuck spelling. Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair. There's no other reason I'd hear that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi Mayabara, there's no way you could hear that. It was mostly instinct than nothing else that was warning me of the presence. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There was nobody behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. God, I swear to God, they're gonna turn around and it's gonna be the bitch from The Ring. And I will shit myself if he turns around and it's a scary looking thing for like 10 seconds. Like if it's just a pop-up. Oh, I will fall out of this chair so quick. But at the same time I asked myself, if there was nobody, then what was I feeling? As an uncomfortable sensation crawled up my spine. Oh, please tell me they're not like putting their fingers on my spine. Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody there when you turned around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions just by looking behind me. But I didn't have enough courage to even do that simple task. Don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around. It's a classic horror movie. Don't turn around! Alright, I could try speaking to them. The person behind me might answer me. It was a random thought. I didn't care how I went about it, just so long I didn't have to turn around. If I'd calmed down and thought about it, I would have known that wouldn't have solved anything. Good God. Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them contemplating their response. I felt it. There's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. That time I was certain I heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of somebody inhaling. Oh, God. Oh, this is creeping me the hell out, guys. Stop it. Oh, my God. Stop it, game. This is creeping me out right now. This is the kind of horror that freaks me the fuck out. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired a primal yet fitting resolution to this current predicament. A scream. Oh, I would scream my ass off. All the force in my body released from my lungs and through my throat, ceasing all thought processes in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotions, I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body and look back as I did so. It was definitely there. Right there. Somebody was there. Until that moment, I turned around until I brought the area behind me into my field of vision. They were definitely there. Who is it? Finally, falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be. They were invisible. They looked like they weren't there, but were they actually still standing there? As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotion was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extricate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In my state and heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. The metal bat held firm in my right hand as if drawn there by a magnet. A mid-level sleep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remember reading that somewhere like that from a book about swordsmanship or something. I brandished my will to fight. The after-image of that amalgamation of metal flashed as it swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. The bat slammed into the right wall, the tip rebounding violently. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the rebound into the sweep to the left. The door to the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. Those two swings whiffed through empty space, but they seemed to have a great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. Ooh, that's creepy as fuck. I'm leaving this house. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extracted the bat from the cupboard it was embedded in and screamed as I spun my entire body around in a large arc. My scream shook the air, imbuing my ferocious swing with even more destructive power. Crack. Without mercy or restraint, my violent strike with certainly fatal force behind it shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck the enemy, but my ferocity had certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat with the invisible enemy there, but not there, disappeared. When I was certain that the enemy had retreated, I locked the front door and latched the chain. Good boy. Good boy, but you're getting a little crazy there. I mean, there's definitely probably a presence there. I don't know if I would have hit it with a bat because that's not gonna do much. But I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck to think about Keiichi. He is all over the place. One minute he's completely careless, and the next he's doing shit like this. So it really makes it hard for me to judge what kind of person he is on his survivability. But I mean, we'll find out. No way, had it only feigned retreat and was now inside my house? Once again, I channeled my aggression and searched the house for the presence. Dude, it's probably not there. It could have got more ghost buddies! No, but I mean, maybe it's Oyashiro-sama. You know, they say there's a curse. Maybe it actually, like, gets into people. But that's just a theory. I have no idea if that's even right, but it could be Oyashiro-sama. But I don't know why Oyashiro-sama would be in the image of a small girl. I searched, in aggression searched the house for the presence, but it was gone. I'd succeeded in fending it off. At the moment, the tension drained from my body and I let out a deep sigh of relief. All of the emotions I'd been holding back chaotically merged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together and began to flow through my body. No shit, I would just go up to my room, lay down, and go to sleep. I'm done for today. But knowing Keiichi, he'll be like, oh, I'm going to go for a nice, lovely stroll outside now. Unable to deal with such each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest, exhaustion. Even in the moment, I remained composed. After checking all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a bit. After clearing my mind of all idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was that at the front door? There was definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it was just an apparition I dreamt up in my confused state, but I really didn't think that was the case. I'm telling you, it's probably Oyashiro-sama. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Compose yourself. But no matter how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't a figment of my imagination. I don't doubt it. I think he actually did see something or feel something. Whether... I don't know what it is. But I can only guess it's Oyashiro-sama. It was obviously a supernatural phenomenon, and without a doubt something was behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion. I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof? I had just one piece. When I asked who is it, they inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I'd been possessed by this supernatural phenomenon known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it or imitating it. Either way, their motives were unclear. The roundabout way it had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetuated by humans, that would mean admitting that it was Rena and the rest of them doing it, but it would be solvable. Good God. Oishi-san and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. But if it was a manifestation of Oyashiro-sama's curse, I wonder what would happen. Oishi very clearly declared that curses didn't exist. At that time, those words were pretty dependable. But as things were now, with the rising possibility that the perpetrators were not human, he suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san that this was the work of Oyashiro-sama's curse, what would he do? What would happen? He would laugh at you? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question that a void would expand rapidly between myself and Oishi-san. With me having so few allies to begin with and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not, there was no merit to doing that. I'd better keep the facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It would be better if I didn't add what happened here to the memo behind the clock. Do it! No, you dumbass! If it is a curse, then they'll understand that, wow, there's actually something really fucked up around here. Whether it's human or not, they'll actually believe you if something happens to you. Come on, man. You're better than this. There was still the ever so slight possibility that I was actually confused when I thought I was composed, and I was just going berserk in the entryway. How wonderful would it be if that was really what happened? I would be able to refute Oyashiro-sama's curse. But if I denied Oyashiro-sama's curse, then that would mean admitting that Rena and the rest were the perpetrators. If I said that Rena and the rest weren't the perpetrators, that would mean believing in Oyashiro-sama's curse. Can it be both, though? I mean, they could be doing it for Oyashiro-sama's curse, quote-unquote, and they're saying it's real, that they truly do deep down believe it's real, but they're just enacting it for it, or they're like possessed. Because they do change, so they might be possessed by an Oyashiro-sama, but they're the real perpetrators. Just me thinking out loud. By denying both of these, I would be admitting that I myself was losing it. The three options from which I couldn't choose became a trilemma of sorts. They mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I'd straighten myself and lean my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what has happened as actually happened as reality. Stop thinking of anything more than that. But I couldn't help but think of it. How wonderful it would be if it turned out I was delirious and everything up until now was a figment of my imagination. Oyashiro-sama's curse wouldn't exist and I would still be bestest buddies with Rena and the rest. I would have to be crazy. That was the first time in my life I'd ever wished for such a thing. Poor Keiichi. Poor Keiichi. Shit. The phone rang noisily downstairs, probably Yoichi. Generally, there were no calls for me, so I never really answered the phone much. But since my parents weren't here, I had no choice. I squirmed off the bed and went downstairs. No, please don't be anyone downstairs. I can see what they're doing. They're gonna pull that twist. Hello, this is the Mayabara residence. Keiichi, this is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this, because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things. So I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. There's still a lot of them. The other day we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup noodles. I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So instead I got a whole case of the mega-sized pork, bone, and ginger-flavored ones I liked. But my parents don't like strong flavors and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards were still full of them. So you see, there really isn't a need to go shopping, right? Keiichi, I'm not asking you to go shopping. Both Mommy and Daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Huh? Right now? This was really abrupt. No, we're already here. We left this afternoon. Oh my god. I'm gonna be killed and they were technically demoned away because they disappeared. God damn it. I'm fucked. Leave your son when we're gonna I'm gonna die now. Thanks. It's quite a distance to Tokyo from Hinamizawa. Gunning at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has a license, but since he doesn't like the highway, they likely took the train. It would have taken longer. I'm thinking you might understand this, and since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract right now. Things aren't going so smoothly. Now that she mentioned it, I did remember that they talked all the time about how his job prospects were looking so good. Daddy's really sensitive about things like this. So if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work. Part of my father's particular fragile artistic personality, his emotions change as easily as the fall sky. You could also say he couldn't take criticism. But something like that can be done over the phone. Keiichi, this is your father's job, so can you support him a bit, please? Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person, so there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. As their son, there was nothing more that I could say once they started talking about work. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Keiichi, will you be fine on your own? Probably not. It's not like I'll die or anything. Ha 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 ha. Fuck me. Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of dying. If there's something troubling you, just talk to us. I'm gonna fucking die tonight. Oh my god. I'm gonna die tonight or tomorrow night. Count it. Mark the tape. Mark it. Well, I'm done. It's game over, boys. Game over. Keiichi fucked himself. I believe Mommy will be able to help you out. Yesterday I bring up if I die rather abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. I would be if my son's talking about he's gonna die. What the fuck? But really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be solved by telling them. But I didn't plan on dying. At least not while I still knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I won't. I'll survive even if I have to gnaw my leg off. Yeah. See you then, weird-ass kid. Tomorrow morning, make sure you two wake up. Well, I'm not waking up tomorrow morning. And eat your breakfast. And don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. Yeah, see ya. The call ended like that. Oishi, please save me. Things are going bad right now. Save me. Sometimes my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings. See, this is the time you call Oishi. And say, yeah, my parents are not here and I feel like I'm going to die. But Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. The times they did go were normally planned out in advance. It never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say that those circumstances didn't feel strange or rather unnatural. Anyway, I only needed to recognize the reality of the situation. That tonight I was the only one in the house. That when my parents came back from work, I'd be gone, missing, vanished. Looking back on the series of events of the previous 5 years, including Oyashiro-sama's curse, it wouldn't seem that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was a good idea that the only light on in the whole house was from my room on the second floor. You're talking on the phone in the dark? Hello? What's wrong with you? Crazy shit's happening and you have the lights off? What the fuck? I would be sleeping with all the lights on. Oh, I don't care about the light. Everything on. Doors barricaded. I don't want to die tonight. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy that my parents were gone and this was their chance. No shit. First I ran to the living room, flicked on the lights, and turned the TV on to a reassuring volume. Next was the study. I similarly turned on the lights and some music. With this from the outside, it would look like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. When I saw the veranda and the laundry still hanging out there, I went pale. That would have made it too obvious. I needed to take it down. I snatched down the laundry haphazardly and eased all the traces that my mother wasn't there. All traces that my mother wasn't there. Should be fine now. The garage. They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Okinomiya Station. The garage was empty and wide open, and in plain sight. This was not good. Why would you leave the garage open, Dad? The fuck? You closed the garage. I panicked and rushed out back and closed the normally open garage door. Should be fine now. I needed to get the paper. Mom always got the paper. Since they left in the afternoon, the evening paper was still out there. You guys get an evening paper? God, I get a morning paper. Wish I had an evening paper. That would be convenient. Because then it would tell me what happened today instead of yesterday. My premonition was correct. I pulled out everything from the mailbox and dropped it in the entryway. With this, for sure this time, it should be fine. Come to think of it, leaving the cupboard busted like that from my little freakout was kind of bad. I just say I tripped and fell and the bat I was holding smashed into it. Yeah, that's believable. Even so, just leaving it in its current state wasn't good. I should clean it up a little before Mom got back and scolded me. I'd rather want that than dying. Oh god, that actually scared the shit out of me. Oh god. I remembered that there was a broom and dust plant in the closet, and as I was getting them, the phone rang once again. Hello, this is the Mayabara residence. Oh, is this Keiichi-kun? Is your mother around? She isn't here at the moment. You idiot, Keiichi Mayabara. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. You can follow up still. Calm down and take care of it. She's in the shower. I think she'll be back soon. That wasn't a good response either. Now they might say they'll call again or to tell her to call them when she comes back. And that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Well then, sorry for the bother. The scenario I feared didn't play out, and eliciting a sigh of relief. The call was fortunate in more than ways than one. I'd have to deal with more telephone calls coming in for my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I needed to make up a good story to explain that my parents were home but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They were making tempura and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Was that going to be safe enough? Oh my god! How many fucking questions? Yeah, I thought that was actually someone we knew that called. No, just some old lady. I was thinking about it on the way back to my room when the phone rang once again. It was like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They'd suspect my parents weren't here. I should have just taken the phone off the hook under the pretense that I didn't realize that it was. But since the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I prepared myself and lifted up the receiver. Hello? I stopped announcing this was the Mayabara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But unlike my uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted. Hello, my apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okinomiya bookstore. Thank God, my savior! Save me, Oishi! Save me! Oishi-san? Is that you, Mayabara-san? Good evening. Good to hear you're doing well. Wait just a moment, please. I'm going to my room and locking the door. I grabbed the portable handset and rushed up to my room with it. It was the same no matter where I was since there was no one else at home, but I wanted to be in a spot that was just felt a little bit safer than speaking with the phone with Oishi-san. Sorry for the wait. How are things? Anything changed since then? Yes, I feel like I'm going to die. Since then, well, when was that exactly? There's something about the brazen way he had talked about that rubbed me the wrong way. Oishi saved me. The last time I spoke with Oishi-san was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Oishi on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into the town for lunch and had a talk. After that, Rena and Mion came to check up on me. Whenever I spoke with Oishi-san, they always knew about it. It was like that since the first time I met him. Today's phone call may be well found out by them as well. Hello? Can you hear me, Mayabara-san? Huh? Oh, sorry. What did you say? I asked if anything's changed since last time. There wasn't an answer, so I got a bit worried. Yes, I feel like I'm going to die. Oh, well, not really. The words stopped in my throat. There was a ton of stuff that happened. All of it baffling. What should I talk about? I didn't understand any of it, but I should try asking. If I didn't speak now, I may never have another chance. This night when my parents weren't home, I had no guarantees I would make it through the night safely after all. Well, Oishi-san, it seems that someone is after me. Really? It could all just be coincidence, but that day, when I missed school when I was sick, the two of them came to check up on me. Which two? Rena and Mion. They started asking about how I had lunch with you. What next? They left me some mochi when they came to visit, but there was a needle inside. Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow it. I wonder, could that have just been a threat? About the needle. It was just one of those common sewing needles you see all the time. There's a hole in it to thread string through. Not that, Mayabara-san, the needle itself. That's evidence. It could be used as proof that they threatened you. No shit, that's why I said it. Instead of throwing it against the wall, you tape it up with the rest of the shit that you had, saying, this is what they tried to kill me with. Where's that needle? That's right, that's it. I dropped the receiver and rushed downstairs. I swear to God, it's not going to be there because Keiichi's a fucking dumbass. When I tossed the mochi, I had overlooked it out of terror, but that needle was a valuable piece of evidence. I'd certainly thrown the mochi and needle at the wall together. If it was there, then it would be on the living room wall. You don't think your mother's gonna clean that the next day? But my prudent mother had cleaned that living room wall, and there was not a trace of the mochi left on it. Could it be that it dropped into the gap between the wall and the carpet? No. I frantically searched, running my palm along the carpet, but nothing turned up. You're a dumbass. Tried moving around the sofa and the desk, pulling up the carpet, then flapping it around. But I couldn't find the needle. Did my mom clean up everything without noticing it? It was just 2 days ago. I didn't know what day they collected the burnable trash, but it may be still in the trash bin in the kitchen. I rushed into the kitchen, opened up the lid of the pail, and poured out the contents. Ew! But even at a glance, I could tell that it would be incredibly difficult to find a needle in this pile of trash. I was looking for a needle in a trash stack. I know I'll try running my hand through it. It's a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle. Put on a glove first! If I felt a small prick, then I'll be able to find it. It was a pretty tactless method, but it was the quickest. I held my breath and started striking the pile of trash with my hand. Filth flew about, but there was nothing more disgusting than this. But it was not the same time to be concerned about such details. I continued on for a while, but nothing turned up. Wanted to search more thoroughly, but I was still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Oishi-san waiting for too long. Later when Mom got back, I'd have to ask her if there was a needle. I hastily began scribbling on the notepad affixed to the refrigerator with a magnet. Was there a needle? I scrawled the words with the red pen. I dashed back up the stairs where I had been keeping Oishi-san waiting for far too long. Hello? How did it go? I couldn't find it. I was really overwhelmed back then, and I see. It would be great if you could find it. Keep it safe. That's right, the needle wasn't the only incident. I had to tell him about this morning with the hit and run. Also, Oishi-san, that isn't all. Actually, this morning, that fan was definitely aiming for me, and I could say that without a doubt due to the circumstances at the time. Did you see the license plate? I can search for it from here. Dumbass didn't look at the license plate. Damn! I just flipped out yelling at him back then, but I didn't look at the plate. What failures on my part with the needle and the plate number. I was so focused on just protecting myself that I let some most important details slip out of my grasp. I punched my pillow, annoyed at how worthless I was. I'm sorry, I don't know much more than that. It was a white van. Nothing to fret about, Mayabara-san. Anyone would be shaken up after being hit. Guess all this really isn't a coincidence, is it? Oishi started to hem and haw over the other end. I could imagine him folding his arms. Also, Rena is acting strange. How so? What Rena said on the way home today, asking why I was so much like Satoshi-kun. Now I could say with confidence that Rena knew what happened to Satoshi. She knew that there was more to it than just simply disappearing. Rena knows. She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last year. What would that be exactly? Rena said I was the same as Satoshi. She said something to the effect that the way things are going, I'll end up with the same fate as Satoshi. Fate, you say? Exactly what kind of fate did she say would befall you? I'd transfer. I'm transferring out, she said. Transferring out. Ren said Satoshi transferred out. So given how things are going with me, I'll transfer out too. Oishi let a stern sigh and then grumbled loudly. Mayabara-san, that was probably some sort of threat, or maybe some type of warning. I thought so too. At that point I started to think. Would it be prudent to sum up everything that had happened until now as the machinations of some human perpetrator? Other than the theory of it being Rena and the others, I was left with Oyashiro-sama's curse actually existing as the only other explanation. Of course I couldn't tell that to Oishi-san. Except Rena's strange behavior could be proof of either scenarios. Whether it was Oyashiro-sama's curse being real or everything being part of a conspiracy committed by all of the villagers, Rena was involved. Rena had to know something. Rena was suspicious. What exactly was Rena? I couldn't help but think she was somehow involved with the prior string of mysterious deaths. I seem to recall that Oishi-san had admitted that he had dug into Rena's past a little. He was probably just downplaying it when he said a little, meaning he had actually dug pretty deep, most likely. I wanted to hear about Rena. I wanted to know what happened at her previous school, among other things that were still unknown to me. If Rena was somebody I should suspect, no, not that. I wanted to know the truth. Tonight I was alone in this huge house. Even though I said I couldn't count on them, I had lost the security I felt I had just by my parents being around. It wasn't like this house was some sort of fortress or castle. If a malicious person decided to use brute force, they'd easily gain entry. There was no other residences close to the Mayabara residence. No one would be able to hear anything, no matter how loud it was. I had never felt as much resentment towards my father's artistic temperament and the fact that this house built in such a remote location as I did right now. Oh god. I wonder if I would still be here by tomorrow morning. So I had to ask, right now, because I had no idea when this next chance would come. Oishi-san, I have something I wanted to ask you about. Please don't keep anything from me. Sure, ask away. Even though he was so far away on the other end of the line, there was the most reliable he had ever felt. I wanted to ask about Rena, about what happened at her previous school. Actually, regarding Rena's, I noticed a sound that had been going on for a while now. Since I was so focused on the call, I hadn't paid attention to it at first, but I finally realized it was a doorbell. The time was 7 o'clock. It was past the time the postman would be making a delivery, and past any sensible time for a neighbor to be visiting. I considered acting like nobody was home, but that wouldn't be good. That would ruin all the work I put in making it look like my parents were home. I needed to answer the door. Hello, Mayabara-san. Oh, sorry, someone seems to be at the door. I'm going to go see who it is. You guessed, I see. My apologies. Should we end this phone call now? That would be a problem. No, I'll be back in a second. Do you mind if I just leave the phone on? It's fine, I don't mind. I dropped the handset onto my bed and dashed down to the door. I needed to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was the lady who called right before Oishi did. In which case, it would be one of the neighbors who's friends with my mom. I'll just say Mom isn't feeling well and went to bed early. That would be the easiest option. Oh, God. It'd be hard for her to ask me to wake my mom up if she's not feeling well. The bell continued to ring at regular intervals. Shut the fuck up, I'm coming! Someone didn't answer after you rang the bell so much, you'd normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without removing the chain, I opened the door slightly, peered out at the visitor. Look through the peephole! A chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside I had prepared for this moment. I tried to escape by imagining it was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends. Nope, fuck no, nope, closing the door, close the door. Oh, you don't understand how fast I would slam this motherfucker closed. Damn that, no thank you. I want to extricate myself from this situation. Nope. Closing the door. Lock it again. Fuck off. I don't want to die. Good evening. Rena. There shouldn't be any reason for Rena to come over at this hour. The timing also made me feel uneasy. Closed the door again, because it was just as I was about to ask Oishi-san about Rena. Don't tell me they tapped my phone lines. I wish I could have chalked this up to mere coincidence. But those unsettling words from Mion several days ago echoed back to me. There's nothing this old man doesn't know. Fuck that. No thank you. Are you alone, Rena? Oh no, I just have a bunch of guys behind me that's gonna beat the fuck out of you. Oh. Yeah. Seems that Mion wasn't with her. But that didn't change the situation at all. I'm not opening this door any farther. Why did you come here? Hey Keiichi-kun, I'd like you to open the door so we can talk. Nope, we are talking right now. Nope. Can I come inside, I wonder? No! That's a definite no. It was true that speaking through a chained door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate. I don't care. But at my house, the chain has to be on at night. Has to be on at night. Jesus. Don't worry about it. Fuck you. Then it can't be helped, I guess. Yeah, that's my excuse. Closing the door. God, no. Fuck her. No. I'd have my baseball bat with me as well. Rena pouted rather sadly. I don't care. But she kept smiling at least, and her effort to keep that smile up was quite pitiful. Even though she was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. Fuck off. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. That's what you say now until she pulls out a gun and blows your arm off. Well, at least puts a bullet in it. What I really feared, more than the possibility that hoodlums would assault me if I removed the chain, was trusting Rena enough to remove the chain and having my friendship betrayed. I'm not inviting her into my house. She's probably a goddamn vampire. Nope, you can't come in if I don't invite you. No thank you, no thank you. As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by Rena. I don't care. Since it didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get into the entranceway. Have you eaten it yet, Keiichi-kun? Yes. I had a 9-course meal with my parents, who are definitely here right now. No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I laid down when I got home, was woken up by the phone, and didn't have a chance to eat since I used up all that time talking. I was going to have cup noodles in any case. I could just eat one whenever I wanted to. No, not yet. You dumbass, say yes that your mom already made you food and you ate it. What about it? Then good. Look here. I brought a bunch of dishes. This isn't weird as fuck. How does she know I didn't eat anything? It's weird. Rena held out a stack of boxes wrapped in a cloth. If I could use your kitchen, I can heat up the miso soup and other stuff. No, you can't. Sorry, kitchen's broken. Along with everything else in this house. It's fine, you don't need to do that. Fuck off. But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. I don't care. Does Keiichi-kun not like that type of stuff? I wonder. Nope, hate it. All of it. I hate everything. There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with lots of ingredients. White radish, carrots, burdock root, and potatoes. Dense and fibrous root vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible. I also brought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it really quickly. Without a doubt, rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gullet, sipping miso soup in between ravenous bites. Oh yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese. Though I don't care, even though I'm speaking English. But yeah, fuck off. Nope, I don't care how good it tastes. I don't want to die. Also, I made some more pickles. I made sansai pickles this time. One of those is probably right. Before I had moved here to Hinamizawa, I scoffed at the mountain vegetables called sansai. But I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. Such a deep yet light flavor. The vegetables from the supermarket were tasteless and bland compared to these. If you had to describe them, then they were the vegetables for the uninitiated. To become an expert such as myself, you first had to partake of sansai. It was common knowledge around here that the Ryugu family's traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. I don't give a fuck how good something tastes. I don't want to die. No matter what kind of pickles they were, they'd go down so well with that fluffy white rice. Is he really going to be persuaded to open the goddamn door so he can get some food? Because if he does, fuck this game. Because he deserves to be tortured at that point. I mean, waterboarded, having his skin ripped off. Fuck him. Fuck him. If he's gonna do that. And also. But wait, there's more! Buy now and get an extra one free! So delicious. It just seems so delicious. Farewell to my unhealthy self who said he'd make do with cup noodles. No! Please, don't be this stupid! Oh my god. Rena appeared to be in good spirits, and she was offering such delicious-sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from my gut and hunger reared its vicious head. At the same time, my awareness of Rena suddenly dwindled. Fuck off. Fuck you, game. Good god. Oh my Jesus Christ. Rena did say she was alone. It shouldn't be a problem letting her inside. Why? Oh my god. You're not questioning how she knew you hadn't eaten dinner. Meaning she obviously knew your parents weren't home. You dumbass. Though the possibility that was laced with poison still hadn't been ruled out. That's okay, I want some delicious tasting dinner. Fuck off. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. Thank God! I couldn't understand why such a sensation had occurred just then. Because she's crazy and your survival instincts are dead as shit. And now is that just turning on like, oh hey, I remembered, she's crazy. But the voice inside me was sounding the alarm. I would be. Keiichi, wake the fuck up, she's crazy. This happy Rena speaking of this charming dinner was dependent on one premise. And that premise was that tonight dinner hadn't been made at my house. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! How did she know? She instinctively knew they weren't there. Meaning it was under the assumption that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't there. At any normal household, 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mom were here, we'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact she brought over all the makings of a meal at this time was inherently strange. No shit! Unless she knew. Rena, did she? Did she know that my parents weren't home? Obviously! Thank God! The fact that you didn't notice? Stupid. Stupid as shit.